Students, this is Sarita Seni, your economics teacher, and I'm here to help you out learning economics. So this is going to be our last video of second chapter economics because our school has taken e-learning initiative to face this COVID-19 pandemic. So we are going to learn with e-learning. So let's revise few things which we have done in the last slides. So we have covered organized, unorganized sector. We have talked about different activities that comes under organized, unorganized sector. So today we are going to move forward regarding the uh, last type of sectors, that is public and private sector. So here let's start. So we were doing chapter number 2, and we are going to talk about sectors in terms of ownership. So I told you that is again private and public sector. So your grade is grade 10. So here I am Miss Sarita Sani. So I'm going to start with the next topic. Let's discuss the topics which we are going to cover today. The first topic which we are going to cover today is sectors in terms of ownership. First sector is public sector and the second sector is private sector. So we will discuss all this in detail in the next slides. Next thing is, how do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector? This topic was left when I was covering the previous slides. So let me continue with this also. And the last topic for today's that was also left earlier. So that was rising importance of tertiary sector. So we have covered primary, secondary and tertiary sector. So today we are going to cover this topic also. This is very important, and CBSE asked many times questions related to this topic. So then we have the questions which we are going to do today. So let's continue. Yes. So the first sector on the basis of ownership is the public sector. The first sector, why we call it as public sector? Because it is organized by the government, and all the rules and regulations, all the responsibilities are fixed by government only. And the second point comes here, the facilities to the workers. So government provides many facilities to the to the workers. So the first thing is fixed employment, then fixed working hours, then its main aim, if we talk about, is public welfare. They are not thinking of any profit, but they are thinking to provide public welfare. As you know, everybody is facing this COVID-19 nowadays. So government is providing the treatment to people who are suffering with corona virus. So what is that? Government is not charging money for that treatment. So what is that? That is just for the public welfare. So similarly, many areas where government is providing you the facilities which are even of more cost than government than the cost at which government will provide us the facilities. So examples of this sector are Indian Railways. Indian Railways, if we talk about it, is going to be private sector. Then they're going to charge you a lot of railway fare. But if it comes under government, so it is going to charge all because of public welfare, just to make public happy, but not to charge for the profit. So it is going to be very nominal for us, very reasonable for us. Next thing is hospitals, civil hospitals, that is also provided by the government at reasonable cost. Then parks, libraries, even bridges, roads, all are made by the government, and that comes under the public sector. Now let's move to the second sector that comes under on the basis of sectors on the basis of the ownership. So here are the examples, few I have covered here for public sector. So all these are the part of public sector: Indian Oil, United Nation, United India, insurance. So insurance is also part of this. Power Finance Corporation, your electricity board, electricity, department that comes under government. Even Maligarh refined limited refineries, oil refineries, that comes under this. BSNL, even your Bharat Petroleum, IRCTC, that also comes under this. Then your this again BHEL, BHEL, that comes under this public sector. Now let's move further for the private. So private sector. So what is private sector? Private sector, with the name we always understand somebody who is not under the government. So it is organized by private individuals. Like I can give you example. There might be two-person, Mr. X and Mr. Y. Might be they wanted to start their own business, and in this case they are not taking any information from the government. They are not even taking any funds from the government, so they are making their own business. So if one person being the owner of the particular business among X and Y, suppose X is the owner of the business, so that person is private individual. So that person is not working with the government. That person is individually starting his own business. So if anybody starts business like this, so that can be the part of your private sector. Now the next thing, it does not provide fixed employment and fixed working hours to workers. Generally, you see people who are working on construction sites. So they are not getting the fixed employment. That means they are not getting the regular employment. They are not getting regular work. And even the working hours for them are not fixed. So that is the best example I can give you. Then what is the main aim? Like in the public sector, we have done public welfare is the main aim uh, for the public sector, which they are promoting for the people. Now here, if we talk about private sector, because government has not to do anything with this, so the private individuals always do business for gaining profits. So if I am talking about starting any business, so obviously I will think of profit, because in private sector we always think the profit is the lifeblood of any business. So if we are getting profit from the previous years, like production, then we are able to continue with the production for the next year. So this is how the private sector work. Now what are the examples? Examples are Birla company, Reliance Industries. So Reliance, under Reliance also many companies are there. Next we have other examples. So what are these examples we are discussing here? NSDI, users, even public and private, these all comes here. So Visa, Kellogg's, so you got so many examples here. Roche, Atlantic, all are the part of this. Next thing is private sector. So that is finished now. So let me continue with the next thing, that is qualities of private sector. Now what are the qualities of private sector? If I talk about private sector, so job security, generous benefits, so more relaxed atmosphere, more opportunities for promotion as the company grows. These jobs tend to pay higher, more prestige. The private sector is supposedly more efficient, less bureaucracy. If I talk about this private sector, so people are getting now job security. We can take even example of our school. So they are providing job security. Even we are getting many benefits from the school, like paid holidays. Even we are getting some celebrations also. We are getting gifts on the time also, on different occasions. So this is also the part of private sector. So our Cambridge International School, the SUA, is the part of private sector. So here atmosphere, if we are talking about, that is relaxed. And if I talk about the opportunities, yes, we are getting promotions on the basis of how our school is growing. Next thing is increase in pay. Even jobs tend to pay higher. That means increase in pay every year. So yes, every year we are getting financial increment, we are getting financial rewards even from the school. So these are the part of your private sectors, the qualities which come, why people are attracted towards this private sector. Next thing is more prestige. So yes, private sector is having more prestige, as people who are living in the local areas, they are also having goodwill of of the particular organization. Like our Cambridge International School, the SUA has got very good like reputation in the people who are living in the SUA and nearby areas. Next thing is the private sector is supposedly more efficient, less bureaucracy. Yes, in private sector people are working more efficiently as compared to if we talk about the public sector. Most of the time, if we are going to do like some of the important things, like if you have to make a UID, so people are taking a lot of time to prepare your things. For preparing those things, and those things are the negative point which they are using, and bureaucrats generally they are just sometimes are the cause for delay in different government this public sector work. So in this we are not finding out these bureaucrats, we are finding out people who are more efficient in the private sector. Next thing which we are talking about is, let's now start with the new thing that is that I left earlier in the chapter. So today I'm going to finish your chapter. So let's continue with this topic. Differentiate between final goods and intermediate goods. Now, final goods. Final goods are those goods which, in simple language, I can say the goods which are ready to sell, or we can say the goods which we are ready to use, or the goods which we are ready to consume. Like you got a full packet of biscuits that you are ready to use it, so ready to consume it, so you're going to eat it, and then that you will be getting the satisfaction, you are able to satisfy yourself. Now, so the next thing which I have to talk about is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those goods which are still used up for producing the final goods. So still the goods which we are using, that means they have they have not crossed the line of production, so still they are into the production process, so further processing is required for these products. So in simple terms we can say the raw material which we are using for making final goods, that is called intermediate goods. Now the next thing is the value of final goods is included in the national income. So whenever we have to calculate the value of national income or GDP, we always add final goods. And when we talk about intermediate goods, so intermediate goods are usually we are not calculating their value while calculating the national income or GDP. So intermediate goods still are not considered as final goods. These are the raw material which we are using for making final goods. Now the example, if I talk about the final goods, the first example which we are taking is television, then is bread, then bakery products, then is I have to give you example for intermediate goods, flour for making biscuits or bread, we can say that as the raw material, then cotton for if we are taking final product as shirt, so cotton is also the example of intermediate goods. Now let's move to next slide. So next slide has got something that has been asked sometimes in exam, that is not asked many times, but yes, we have to move further. So let's start with the next thing, that is how we have to count the various goods and services, so and know the total production in each sector. So what is the method how we are using these values of various goods and services that is being produced in an economy. So let's we have the guidelines for calculating the total production in a given sector. So the first point is the value of goods are calculated rather than numbers of individual goods. So we always take the value of goods. We are not considering only individual goods, means we are not talking about single unit of goods. So we are talking the aggregate of goods. Next thing is the value calculated is of the final products and the services, which automatically includes the value of the intermediate goods and services. So we are not taking, again the thing is, we are not taking the value of intermediate goods, we are taking the value of final products or final services which we have received. So we are not talking about any of the goods. Suppose I'm giving you one example. Suppose the shirt which we are buying is of cost 500 rupees. So how we are talking about this? The first thing, the cotton which we bought for making a shirt is, suppose that is of 250 rupees, and then we further made it into the form of thread, then its cost is added again. Now maybe the cost after making thread of the cotton, now it becomes 300 rupees. Now, the last 250 rupees that is already included in 300 rupees. That means how we calculate, we are taking the final goods into consideration. So in every stage, some amount is added in the product when we are talking about the final goods. Next thing is, the last point is, the total production is then acquired by adding the total value of final goods and services in given sector. This will give us the GDP in this sector. So how we are doing it? So we are considering all the values, all the goods and services that is being produced in different sectors, not in different sector but in each sector. If we are talking about primary sector, so we are talking about all the activities that the final goods that is produced in the primary sector. So we will add up the value of all the goods, final goods, into the sector, and then we will provide the value of that sector while calculating GDP, fine, of this sector. So I hope this is clear to you. Now shall we move further? So I feel this is clear to you. So shall we move further? So yes, we have to move further for the next topic. Left in our chapter was rising importance of tertiary sector. So yes, this is very important topic. This has been asked many times in CBSE exam. So how we can talk about rising importance of tertiary sectors. So how tertiary sector is gaining importance day by day in the world. So the very first point, which is the answer of this, is the basic services. Yes, every country which came into existence in the world map, we can say every country, basic facilities are required, basic services are required. So what are these basic services? Hospitals, transport, banking, education institutions, post offices, telegraph services, telecommunication services, even police stations, courts, village administrative services, offices, even municipal corporation, defense, so insurance companies. All these basic facilities are required for running any country smoothly. So this is the first point why this tertiary sector is gaining importance. So obviously, for arranging all these basic services, we need to develop our tertiary sector. Now the next thing, second point is aid and support to the two other sectors. So if I have to talk about aid to the other sectors or support to other sectors, so we are talking about now two sectors except tertiary sector. So what are the two sectors? That is agriculture and industry. So both always need, if they have to start their production, whether in industry or agriculture, people require finances. Finances will be all arranged by the banking. Even transport is required for sending their goods to the market. Then trade is also required. Trade is simply buying and selling of goods. That means sometimes they have to buy raw material from one side and then they have to sell the finished product in the market. So this will be all done with the help of trade. Next thing is storage. Sometimes we are getting the goods which are not in the season. Like most of the time, if I can give you example is of hosiery industry. So they are producing the goods one season earlier. So in that case, they need to store goods in somewhere. So they have this facility of storage, or we can say the warehouses. So you people might have listened about this cold storage. So they are providing you even goods that will not be in the season and that will be stored in the cold storages. Next thing is rising income. Yes, when somebody has gain in their income, so obviously they are asking for many other services which we usually use, basic and other services in the agriculture and industrial sector. So we are demanding now. If somebody is having good standard of living, the income of the person has increased. So in this case, people start demanding many facilities like eating out. People go to restaurants and eat on that. So different food courts they used to go. So they start demanding many more services like that. Even people start going for tours. So for those tours, even people start shopping on the shopping malls. So all these facilities, even private hospitals, they are asking because they feel sometimes this government hospitals are not giving them the proper standards, or they don't believe their level of treatment which they are providing is of proper way. So in this case, people start demanding more facilities. So rising income also lead to many like rising importance of tertiary sector. So as they are demanding more of the services. Next thing is new technology. If I talk about new technology over the past decade, last 10 years, so past few decades, if I have to talk about some services like information and communication technology have become important and essential, and the production of these services has been rising rapidly. Yes, this is nowadays very very important service. As you know, we are suffering with this COVID-19 pandemic and we are providing e-learning initiative. So with this initiative, we are able to provide you education. So in the last 10 years, this service has gained many things. Now the last part of your chapter is all these questions. So the question first is the difference between public and private sector, then is the which sector you feel is better and why. You have to give reason, you have to think yourself and give the answer. Then is why, how the tertiary sector is rising importance in the world. Then the next thing is how do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector. And the last question is define intermediate and final goods, and you can even give the differentiation between both. So that is all for today. So God bless you all. Stay happy, stay healthy. And I would say thank you. God bless you. Enjoy learning at home. And if you have any kind of doubt, you can give me call and I'll clear all your doubt. I hope this is the simple one which I can provide you in the notes even. So you enjoy learning at home. Take care, stay happy, healthy at home, and enjoy this time with family while learning with CIS the SUA, and we are there to help you. So definitely we're going to win this COVID-19 pandemic. God bless you.